Order. Rise for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record show that all board members are present except Eric Minks. There are no citizens' comments, and we'll go on to board member committee reports, and we'll start with Chad.
I had a finance committee for this meeting, and that is all I
I have a special ed co-op meeting this morning.
Are you still meeting by Zoom, or do you get together now?
We're all meeting by Zoom.
Okay.
All I had was agenda planning.
Okay. I had a C executive board meeting, lots of changes in staff happening there with the executive staff. And I attended C Day at the Capitol on Zoom, and I got to visit with Sandra and Senator Matthews on that. And then I had agenda planning.
I had finance right before this meeting. That's it.
No committees meeting.
All right. No student council reports, superintendent reports.
I've also been speaking to legislators quite often. Right now, the common things that you hear is, everything's just up in the air, but what tends to happen is, like, with the last 3 days, 3 or 4 days, when the rubber hits the road, there's gonna be a lot of action that takes place. And I would just ask you to, if we do put a call out to action in those last couple of days, that you respond and connect with people the best that we can. Some of the new messaging is that I'm trying to get out is just how inflation has impacted us in our current year budget, especially with the increased cost of diesel fuel and the impact on transportation, and how that is impacting our current year budget and concerns related to that. So a lot of wait and see there. I want to let you know that I'm continuing on with our collaboration with the city and the Chamber of Commerce as it relates to communication and just public relations as to communicating out outside of Princeton as to why Princeton, why is this a great place to raise your family, to work here, and to have your children go to school here. So we're going to be helping present to the Chamber and the city on that, and we're excited about some of that work. I continue to meet with the student advisory group and try and find more ways to give voice to our students, which I think is extremely important, as something that we should continue to look for opportunities to do. I'm really impressed with the students, and I've been able to meet with them several times this year, and I'm excited because we're already planning about me being able to meet with students even this summer and into the fall, so we have momentum, so it doesn't take us time to get up and rolling. And up to probably 40-50 different students at the high school participate on that at a given time. I probably need to expand that into the middle level as well, but some good things happening out of there. I think I shared with you that I had an opportunity to speak to each of the grade levels at the high school. I think it went well, and we had some good debriefing on that with the student advisory group to me, and I got lots of good feedback from that group. So I'm thankful.
How do the students? Does anybody get to go to that, or how did that work?
We have a pretty high functioning student council, and I think what they did is they worked in. So it's not just student council. Right. They worked to put together like a application process so that anybody could apply to participate, and they I don't know how they communicated that out, but yeah, we have a pretty good variety of students in there, and it's fun because they all have different perspectives on things, because you might have a student with a very passionate about a topic on one side of a spectrum, but then you have others that can balance that perspective out. no different than talking with a group of adults, you know, with lots of different perspectives.
Is it always the same kids or?
The same students get the invite, but it's not always the same students. A lot of it is just dependent upon who can come that day, you know, and some of the students, you know, if they got a big test or something going on, you know, they have to sneak out early, you know, so. That's good. You know, folks here mentioned the finance committee, very big agenda there. We're talking about long-term facility maintenance and all of the different projects associated with that. And we have an extensive list of needs and, you know, trying to prioritize those things. So you'll continue to hear, you know, what those, every site has their different projects, from roofs to HVACs to parking lots to, you know, kitchen equipment, chillers, you know, those, there's something different in every site. We do have quite a bit of expense associated with our tennis courts at the middle school. It's one of those things, if we don't fix those, we're gonna lose them. We're really to that point, and that's gonna be a big ticket item. Same thing with our track at our stadium. So, you know, there's some big biggies there that we've just put off too long, and you know, those aren't those are just replacing what we have, so we can keep having them. It's not like adding anything elaborate by any means. But also, you know, we talk about things that are related to technology, and we've been meeting with our technology department, talking about, you know, continuing on with the one-to-one computing and the cost of all of our software that, you know, we, just like any industry, grow to rely on. You know, those costs and things continue to go up. So, so you'll be hearing quite a bit about that coming up as well. And I think I am aware that the board has been briefed on some preliminary school board scholar kinds of things. You're going to be receiving invitation here soon on details related to that. And then I think it's just getting ready to gear up for all of you for all the spring normal things that happen. Graduation, you know, happening, end of the year kinds of things, prom, you know, all of that end of the year stuff.
Scholarship awards.
The scholarship award, you know, it all is gonna come pretty quick. So I think we're excited for that. And, you know, I wanted the board also to know that we are working to put together a board showcase at every board meeting. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get one for this meeting, but I think after starting next board meeting, we should have one for every, or our goal would be to have a board showcase for every meeting after that. And I'll have a meeting with our admin at each site to try and get a rotation to showcase a variety of different activities and a variety of different sites, so we, you know, get all, you know, pre-K through 12 and beyond. So I think I talked enough there, unless you have any other questions. I'll
Do you
end
know
my
the
remarks.
time of the school board scholar banquet?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. The voice from above.
Voice from above. Thank you, Emily.
You're welcome.
Go out on a limb and say either 6, 6:30, or 7. Bold. Bold, a very bold statement.
Yes.
Any other questions for Ben? We'll move on then to approve the agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Is there a motion?
Second.
Motion made by Chad, seconded by Jim. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We will move on to discuss and act on previous board meeting minutes from 3:15. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Motion made by Deb, seconded by Don. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion made by Jim, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Eric Strandberg, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to information section, and the first one is the first reading of policy, and Dawn, would you like to address that?
We actually got quite a few done at our last policy meeting. Pretty much just bringing everything up to the models of MSBA and just reviewing a couple of them, so just pretty standard adjustments.
I guess my only question is, like, number 510, the activities program policy. We have an activities committee, so maybe that could run through there before we approve the policy. I don't know. See if that's what they think it looks good. That was the only issue I guess I had.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I certainly wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, I don't,
Just see what our activities director and the activities committee thinks about it, I guess.
How many are on that committee?
What's that?
Is it just one on that committee, or how many people?
Yeah,
there's one board member on that
board member and then
committee.
a middle school AD, high school AD. Jason, I think you might.
That's a good idea.
All right.
Was there anything that stuck out to you, Eric,
There's
that
not.
you questioned?
Yeah, there's not, this one is more of a, it's not like the
No, I
one
just
that
wanna
lists all the activities
just
and the
To make
fees
sure
and all
that
that.
they agree that it looks good, I guess.
I think that one had very minor, I don't care, but.
It
I
is
think
pretty minor.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree 100%, it's minor, but.
Yep, but you wanna send it there, we can do that.
Well, it's an information item, so
Yeah,
I think
yeah, it's
that
There's
is
usually
Michelle
s-
in here? Can we just make a note to, you know, maybe we can even get that group together before our next meeting,
Yeah,
you know, before it actually is voted on.
could probably just
Policy
be-
is the next board meeting.
Probably just be a
Fine.
Zoom call.
Yeah,
or we just hold that one off for a second reading if you can.
yeah. And I think that that committee hasn't, when's the last time we met?
It's been a while.
We need to meet again. Okay.
All right. Dawn, anything else, or good to go?
No.
All right, we'll move on to the action items, number 10. 10A, resolution for non-renewals. I'm looking for a resolution there. Looking for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Deb, second by Dawn. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. School board finance directives, looking for motion to accept the school board finance directive resolution as presented.
So moved.
Motion made by Eric Strandberg. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Chad. Any discussion?
You know, this is just something that you guys have all been on board long enough to know that this is a requirement that we have to do every year at this time.
The one before and this one.
Yeah.
All right. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 10C is the purchase agreement for the district land. Looking for a motion to accept the purchase agreement as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Chad, second by Eric Strandberg. Any discussion?
I'll just start off by saying, you know, I've talked to each of the board members about this, you know, that this has been a long process. And I want to assure everyone that we have ran this through our legal department multiple times to ensure that this is all 100% legal. We're following all statutes and requirements, and you know, we followed this process, and we've had many discussions along the way to get us here, and lots of drafts back and forth of this purchase agreement, and this is the final result of that. If the board does choose to pass this, then the next steps would be, you know, working with the purchaser on a possible closing date, and I'm sure that there'd be some details I'll need to share with you regarding that. I look at this as a real win-win. It's some land that we have evaluated and determined we have no use for, and it's an opportunity for us to enhance our community by providing some housing opportunities in an area that has been deemed by the Star Tribune as being one of the hottest real estate markets in the Twin Cities or the state. And we're in the people business, and this is an opportunity for us to, you know, provide additional housing, which we hope then would bring additional students and families to our community, and add more to our tax base, and which will help everyone. There's some other amenities that we feel will be a result of this, which would include a road that would come in to allow us to put a parking lot in by all of the ball fields of the middle school, some additional trails that will allow for students to safely get to school, some enhancements there as well. And we're also able to negotiate with the seller to continue to keep an access to the Rum River on a different location that's not right directly behind the middle school as well. So we were thankful for that. So it's been a long process, and thank you for all your work on this.
I was also happy to see that they didn't just give us an easement, but actually kept that out of the purchase after walking back there. That's good for the future for kids to be able to get back in that part that I didn't even know was there.
And thanks to Principal John Beach,
Yeah.
you know, for bringing that up, you know, and his attention to detail, because I think many of you know that they have cameras that they utilize for science classes and things, and you know, he pointed out that they had some nice cameras back in that area, and so that was nice that you know, we were able to negotiate to keep that portion.
All right, before voting, is there any other questions or discussion?
You know, in the future, you know, I'm just as much to blame, but in a way, I wish we would have been able to involve the community more and keep them abreast. You know, we keep saying communication, we want the public involved. You know, and this is gonna dramatically affect our community, and I don't feel we have done that piece. And that's one piece that I'm kind of struggling with is keeping our community updated, what the school is doing as well. So I'm really struggling with that piece of it, because that is part of our obligation.
Well, I think in the Tiger Times, a handful of months ago, there was some sort of an article about the land back there, maybe back in November or October.
Yeah, I'd have to look back. I know that
We're not the city planning commission either, so we don't really have to keep the community involved. And like if we're looking at selling land or purchasing land, it's, you know, we're not the planning commission, we're the school board, so we're doing our part to do what I think is best, or what we think is best, I guess. So, it's just the way I see it.
Any other comments, or do we have to do a roll call vote here?
yes.
All right, we'll begin with Jack.
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes,
Sue, yes, Eric,
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Motion carries. There are no additions to the agenda. Future meetings, adding again, the school board scholar on May 4th, to your calendar, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Jim, second by Eric. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We